right, this is one of my favorite math things to do. One of. Oh, welcome back, llamas. This is block 2 from topic 10 on page 313. We are going to learn how to create box and whisker plots. I remember learning this in middle school, and I was terrible at it, but I wasn't a very good math person either in middle school. But then it was like I was still like doing it, even though I was terrible at it. So I'm gonna try and see if you can't get better at creating box and whisker plots. So we're gonna first start off by looking at a line plot, forgot. Yesterday we talked about the PBIS dress-up days, right?
Yep.
Would I, if I just asked 5 people, would that have given me enough information to know what the whole school probably would want?
No.
5 out of 900 doesn't seem like it's a good representation of the school, right?
Why don't you bring the whole school inside the gym and then
Yeah.
ask them on the microphone?
So, but is it always plausible for me to survey the whole school for everything I want to know? Do we have time to do a survey every day? No. There is one survey that we're required to do every homeroom, and your teacher normally sits at the computer and does that survey. What are they surveying in homerooms? Attendance. They're seeing who's here and surveying who's absent and who is here. So that is one survey that we do every day. However, we can't, if I just randomly wanted to know something, it's not plausible for me to survey the whole school all the time because it takes up too much time. I could do a different sort of survey. You got something?
Okay, for the survey thing, like at certain one, so I was trying to my professor, he uses a stopwatch to count how many students still in the class.
Oh yeah? He does that? That's pretty cool. Alright, so let's look at a line plot. And we're going to look at the data that was collected of how many hours is spent a week on homework or studying. And this survey has already been done, so I have the information here. And we're going to fill in our chart and then create a line plot. The only thing wrong with our chart is I need a 0. So you might want to, first you need to add the numbers 1 through 12, or we really need a 0 through 12. So in your number of hours, record 0 through 12.
Can we just put the 0 under the 12?
Yeah, you can put the 0 under the 12 like mine. And I gathered some information on the number of hours spent studying or doing schoolwork a week. For 0, 10 people answered they spent 0 hours a week. So I need to do a tally here in the middle. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4. What do I do with that 5th one? When I do tallies. You cross it. That's your 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is crossed over. So 10 people do homework for 0 hours a week. 3 people do homework. So I need 3 tallies for 1 hour. For 2 people, for 2 hours, 9 people said they did homework 2 hours. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4. For 3 hours, there were 4 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. For 4 hours, there were 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 5 hours, there were 3. 6 hours, there were 4. 7 hours had 2. 8 hours had 3. 9 hours had 2. 10 hours had 1. 11 hours, nobody said 11. Then one person said 12. Okay, so we got our tally system going. And we can kind of tell with our tallies, did many people do a lot of hours of homework and stuff a week? No. But a line plot kind of helps us see the data better. What a line plot does is, for instance, 0 hours. How many people said 0 hours? 10. So I'm going to put 10 dots above 0. How many people did 1 hour? 3. So 3 dots. 2 hours was 9. 3 hours is 4. 4 hours is 8. 6 is 4. 7 is 2. 8 is 3. 9 is 2. 10 is 1. 11, 9, and 12, 1. And there is my beautiful line plot. Yes, sir?
With consonant tally marks, could you just put a line straight to the middle of them?
Yeah, I think some people do it that way.
Okay.
So, the line plot, am I able to tell a little better than the tallies of where it's kind of heavier, where it's most popular?
0.
Well, 0 is the most popular, but is the right side of the graph or the left side like the most popular? The left, because it's heavier in this left section here, and then it kind of trickles down to hardly anybody the more hours you study a week. So the line graph is able to tell me how my data is spread out. It could give me some information. It's very easy to make as well, right? You're just putting points. Yes, sir?
Is that at night?
Is that a what?
Is that like in the during like PM hours or AM hours?
This is just after school hours.
So like, is it just doing work in general or like studying?
Both.
You telling me somebody can stay up for 12
Lazy.
hours on a school night?
They want.
It's not a night, it's per week. A week. So 12 hours in a week. So maybe 2 hours one night, 3 hours another night, adding up to 12 hours. Okay? Now we need to start looking at some definitions that we need to know of how to create our box and whisker. The line plot helps us give information for what we need to know of a box and whisker. What?
What's a box and whisker?
That's what we're about to get into. Alright, so I have a line plot, the same one that we just drew, and they nicely put all my data points in order from least to greatest, correct? That was very nice of them, because that takes quite some time.
Shouldn't we have gone to the vacuum population?
Alright, so A wants us to describe the shape of the data in the line plot. So what did we say is happening in this line plot?
It's going
Hours
down.
per week.
It's kind of going down, and it's heavier on the left?
Right.
Yeah, left. So we can say the data is clustered around 3 hours, meaning it's heavy around 3 hours area. And then it trails off to the right. Now we need to talk about the range. Anybody remember what range means in math?
Which direction it's going?
And range doesn't really have direction.
How far a number is from 0?
Close.
Distance on a number line.
Close. Range is your smallest number, which is sometimes 0, but can a number be smaller than 0? Yes. It can be negative. Your range is your smallest number to your largest number. So what is my range here? 0 to 12. Okay, your smallest to your largest. So we first need, the first sentence is our definition. And our second sentence is our answer to what it is in this problem. So after you write the definition, I may highlight the definition so it stands out. And you can know what range is. The highest and lowest values.
I always thought like the range was like what like the middle number of it was.
That's the median.
Yeah.
Okay, that's our range. We need to look at a few other definitions on C. Determine the mean, median, and mode of the data. We have a lot of information about to go in this section, so don't write too large. Because we're first going to define them, then we have to give examples of them. Okay, so a mean. Does anybody remember what the mean means? What?
Meaning.
No,
The middle of it?
that's the median. Mean is the average. I find the average, I have to first add all the numbers up. Then what do I do after I add all the numbers up to find the average? Divide by the number of numbers you have. That's our definition for mean. It's the average. If you're looking at your average grade, you add them all up and then divide by the number of grades you have. That is average. Okay, that's a definition. You might want to highlight that one. Next definition is median. Several people was calling this one out, and I said, no, that's the median. So what is the median?
The middle.
The middle number. But the most important thing, the numbers have to be in order from least to greatest. The middle number when your numbers are in order from least to greatest. That's another definition you might want to highlight. Then we have mode. Anyone remember what mode is? Mode is your most, so the number used the most. Mode is your most, the number used the most. Those are the definitions, but they wanted us to answer these definitions for this problem. I'm about to clear this page so I have room to answer. You're still going to be writing in this section. Alright, so our mean is our average, where we add all the numbers up and divide by the number of numbers you have. Well, I didn't want to have to add all of these up 7 times today. So I went ahead and I added all of these numbers up. And I got 182. So write that next to your box. And then I counted how many numbers I had. And I counted and there were 50 total numbers. There were 50 total numbers. So I needed that piece of information to help me find the mean. And mean is our average. So to find my mean, I had to add them all up. Did I add them all up?
Yes.
Yes. What did I get when I added them all up? 182. Then you divide by the number of numbers you have. How many numbers did I have? 50. So I did 182 divided by 50, and I got 3.64. So my mean, or my average, is 3.64. We were talking about hours people studied. So that is 3.64 hours. So was that hard math that I had to do for that? No, I added and I divided, and that was it. Yes, sir? Because fractions is division.
What's that in fractions?
Oh, this? I'm not too sure.
You're gonna have to simplify.
No, I would have to, it'd be 64 over 100 and simplify that.
I think the 3 would be the whole number.
Okay, next I'm gonna look for my median. And read me what we said for the definition of median.
The middle of the numbers.
Middle numbers, but there was something else that we wrote important. Listed from least to greatest. That's kind of annoying to do sometimes, because especially with 50 numbers. But they did it in order from least to greatest for me already, right? Okay, so to find my median, my middle number, this is kind of how I like to do it. I either like to cover it with my finger, the 0 and the 12, and keep moving in till I get to the middle. Or if I need a visual, I cross them out. So keep crossing out until I get to the middle. So you're doing this with me.
Why don't you just make a big line till your hands cross?
No. Cross them out till I get to the middle. Gotta see what number ends up falling dead center. Is that the one you got dead center?
I had it,
No.
I had the 3 before it.
I'm still going.
Sort
I
of.
had the 3 before it.
I could have used my line plot. Watch how I use my line plot. I can cross out the dashes to see where it's falling.
You also do that?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Kind of annoying, but
Why'd you cross out one of them?
because I cross them out in pairs. So 3 is my middle there. So what is my median? 3 hours. Ended up being my middle. Both ways that I did it. Then mode is your most. What number is used the most? 0 hours.
What's that noise?
All right, now that I figured out that information, it is helpful in creating a Box-and-Whisker plot. All right, so anyone still using this information on this slide? All right, Box-and-Whisker plot is really easy, but people forget steps is the only problem with it, so please stay focused the whole time. I'm gonna, I would like you off to this side here, I want you to write these 5 things. I messed up already. These are the 5 important pieces of information I need to know for a box and whisker plot. And I'll explain what they mean in a minute. I like to write these every time I create a box and whisker plot. Okay, hold on, Tristan. Alright, so, min. Well, what do you think the min is? What does that stand for? The minimal. So, what is the smallest number in our data here?
12.
11. 3.
The smallest number used.
Oh,
Smallest number listed in this box.
11.
Dude! The number that is smallest. 0.
Let's have that first. Everybody's like 11.
So my min is 0, the smallest number. So my max should be easy to spot. What is the largest number written? 12. And we already found out med stands for median. What is my median?
3.
3. It was the middle number. So I'm going to plug in a 3.
What are the Q's?
That's what I'm getting to. All right. Now I have Q1 and Q2. Q's stand for quartiles. Quartiles kind of sound like quarters. And how many quarters are in a dollar? 4. A box and whisker plot, you don't have to draw this. This is an example of what a box and whisker plot could look like. Got box and whiskers going off the box and whisker plot. But there are 4 sections. You have a quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, and quartile 4. You see the 4 sections. Okay? So I need quartile 1 and 2, which are these end-piece lines right there. To find quartile 1 and quartile 2, quartile 1 means it wants you to find the middle number in your bottom half of the information, between 0 and 3. So, going back to this, I'm going to change colors. Here's my middle number, the middle. Here's the bottom half, below 3, right? I want to find the middle number of the bottom half. So I'm going to cross out until I get to the middle number of the bottom half, which is what number? 1. So my quartile 1 is 1. And I'm going to do the same for the upper half of my information. So I'm going and looking at my upper half, and I'm crossing off until I get to the center.
That's a little frustrating.
It is quite frustrating, honestly. What's my middle number?
5.
5.
So we're just looking in between the minimum.
Your middle number in between the bottom half and then the top half.
So just in between.
Yes. Those are my 5 important numbers to create my box and whisker plot. So I'm going to put points on those, like dots, above those 5 numbers. So a dot on 0, a dot on 1, 3, 5, and then way over here, 12.
Do those have to be like right above one another?
Yes. 5 dots above those numbers. I want them to look above the numbers. Okay, everyone got their 5 dots? Okay. Spot your 3 middle dots. Do you see your 3 middle? I like to draw lines on my 3 middles to help me see where the box is going to be. So I drew lines. Now I'm going to connect it to form a box. Now I'm going to draw the whiskers. Got a little short whisker there, and then this one ends up being kind of a long whisker. Now I have my box and whisker graph. So was it really that hard to make?
No.
I just had to look for 5 numbers, and then I created my box and whisker. And were those 5 numbers hard to find? No, it was kind of annoying to find it, but they were easy to find. It wasn't hard math. So that is a box and whisker plot. We're going to be working more with those in a little while. I mean, in other lessons. Number 4, is it number 4 in your page? Because my paper says 3.
Look, it says 4.
Yeah.
On the bottom of 3.
My paper says 3, so it confused me. So I don't know why it did that. But it's 4 in your book, correct? Okay. Number 4 wants you, on 4A, they want you to write a statistical question that you could survey people with. This could be, what's your favorite ice cream? What is your favorite Xbox game? What is your favorite social media? What is your favorite drink? What is your favorite food? Okay, so you're writing a question for A, and the bottom half, what time's the bell ring? 35?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got 10 minutes.
The bottom half, you're going to use to record your responses. And you need 2 different groups. Well, if I'm asking people in here, how can I make 2 different categories of groups of people?
Boys and girls.
Boys and girls is the easy group in here to make. Could I do 6th and 7th graders in here?
No.
No, it's all 7th graders. So I could do boys and girls for 2 categories. I could do tall and short, or dark and light hair maybe, or you need 2 groups. Obviously, the boys and girls is going to be the easiest category. So what I would do on the bottom half, let's say I'm using social media one for my example. So I want 2 groups. I would create a chart, male, female, and then I would have my categories over here. So if I'm doing social media, I might have Snapchat right here. Then I might have Instagram. Yeah. I might have
YouTube.
TikTok.
What about YouTube?
It's not on social media.
It's still kind of big.
It's my category, so quit telling me what to do. I'm gonna only list certain categories. I might list one more. Facebook. Okay, so when I survey people, that's the only categories they get to pick. So if I walk up to Chance, I would tell myself, okay, he's a male, so I know his tally needs to go in the male column. And then I say, okay, Chance, which do you like better? Snap, Insta, TikTok, or Facebook? What's your favorite? Oh, why did y'all all write what I have written?
I'm doing drinks.
You're doing your own problem. Okay? So Chance says TikTok is his favorite. So I'm going to put a tally here. Then I'm going to go up to Alicia. and I say, oh, she's a girl, so her tally needs to go in the female. And what's your favorite? Okay, Insta, so I would come to my chart under female and put a tally. Then after I surveyed the whole class, I would be done with my information. So you're using your own question, and you're going to survey some people, and you have until the rest of the hour to do that and get some tally marks. And I'm going to close out my video now. So thanks for listening, llamas. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and peace out, home dogs.